Hi everyone, Narendra here. Let's talk about optional class today. So this is a new feature in Java 8. Okay. In this session, we'll understand what is this optional class and where it is used, and what are the ways we can create object and what are the operations we can do by using this optional. Okay. So it is very important feature. We need to understand that. So you see like why we need this. Okay, so actually it is dealing with null. Okay, so wherever we are getting null pointer exception, it is we are handling by using this optional. Okay, so if we have a project class or we are accessing some elements, and if that elements or attribute is not initialize, okay, so we'll get null pointer exception, right? Many times we used to get, and each time we forget sometimes to put null check, and putting null check for whenever we are dealing with hundreds of thousands of attributes, right? It is tedious job, right? So this optional class, it is helping us. And it's like a, suppose in a container or in a box we are having a value, and we are checking, we are getting that value. If it is there, we are returning that value. If it is not there, we are just not throwing any exception, we are returning empty, something like that. Okay, so we can create this optional object by using this empty method and off method of nullable method. If we'll see this oracle doc, okay, so this optional class, it is a public final class. Okay, and if we'll see uh, if we'll see, we are having static method. So to create object empty and of nullable, I will create a object and I will show you. And we are having many more important method, instance method. Okay, so we are having each present method, and we can do some map operations using that stream and or else method or else get, all this method I will show you. Okay, let's create a example, okay, to understand that. So I will create a class. Let's say I will name as optional demo. Okay, and I will create optional dot empty, and you will see this is returning a empty object of optional type. Okay, so let's hold it. Optional object, and any variable you can give a name, and let's print it. So it will print optional dot empty. Okay, so using this empty method we can create an object, and it is printing like this. Okay, so let's create another object of this optional class by using off method. Before that, I will create a, let's create a project class. Okay, let's create a project class which we are going to use the project class name as user, I will say, and I'm having just the attribute int user id, string name, and string, let's say city. Okay, three attribute is there. Let's generate setter and getter of all attributes, and I need a parameterized constructor. Let's generate that. Okay, this is a user class. Okay, and what we'll do, let's create a object of the user class here, and I will give 1 2 3 the user id, name I will give Kiran, and I will not pass any city intentionally. Okay, now I will create Now I will create an object, optional object, and I will pass this city as null, and let's see what is happening. So this time I will create this optional object by using of method of, and here we'll pass this, let this user will assign to this user1. So we created the object, but we did not assign to any. So user1 dot get city. So it will try to get city, and city is null, and it will pass that. And if you'll see this off, it is returning a optional object, right? It is returning an optional object by creating that optional object, passing that value. So let hold it like this, and let give that opt optional city. This is the variable name, any name you can give. Okay, and this is a string actually. Let's do that. So this optional city, I will print. So what will happen, you see, it will give null pointer exception. Why it is giving null pointer exception? Because this off method, if you see this off method, it is what it is doing, it is calling this require null, and finally it is checking with if the value is null, so return this null pointer exception. If it is not null, then return it. So it is throwing this null pointer exception. It will pass a valid value, so it will return that value. Okay, let comment this, it will return that value. Okay, so if we want only value, we'll call this get method. You see, only Bangalore. So whenever we are passing here null, right, so it is throwing in this line null pointer exception, right? That means if you don't know whether our attribute can be null, maybe null or not, that time don't use off. So we'll use now off nullable. Let take another. So we should create like this, of nullable. Okay, let me comment this. So let print sysout. So we have passed null, right? This time it will print empty. Okay, so if we'll try to, we are passing, if we'll pass a valid value, so we'll print it. So if we wanted to print the value, we'll call this get method, so we'll be able to see that. Now if we pass here null, right, so what will happen? You see, it is throwing no such element exception, no value present in this line, because if you see this get method, it is checking if it is null and throw this no value present. So it is throwing that no such element. We are trying to get, we are passing a null value. So here optional city is a null, right? In this null object we are trying to call that get, so it is throwing no such element because they define no value present and no such exception. no such element exception, okay, in optional class. So we can avoid it, but we can write like this: if this opt city, if this opt city is present, if it is not null, if it is present, then you print the value, otherwise don't print. So now not there, so it is false, so it will not do anything, right? It is nothing doing actually. Where is my console? See, it is nothing doing. But if we pass this value, it will print. So we can do this way, a better way. We can do like this. What we will do? What we will say, like, if it is present, then print it. Otherwise, you show one exception, something like that. Okay, one error message. So it is not there. So we'll write. So we'll say you present print it, otherwise or else we'll use. So many methods is there. One by one we'll see. Okay. So or else and or else get. So both are same. Let's use or else. Okay. So here we will say, like, if it is not present, so city is not present. Something like that it will show. Okay. You see, now we are passing Bangalore. So it is saying, it is printing that value. If it is there, so it will print. If it is not there, it will say city is not present. Suppose we wanted to, if it is not there, we wanted to throw an exception with a error message. So we'll print like this. Let copy this. We'll print. So what we are saying, or else. So if it is there, then print it. Otherwise, throw one exception. Okay. So let call this. Okay. City not present. Okay. So what it is throwing actually, it is expecting a supplier. Okay. So let pass that way. We'll do a functional interface. Okay. So we'll we'll pass new, suppose illegal argument exception. Okay. And we'll throw this message. Okay. You see, we are throwing this illegal argument exception, city not present. So you will see here, illegal argument exception, city not present. So if it is not present, we wanted to throw one exception with this message. Any message you can pass. See? Okay. So now we'll pass a valid value. Let's get ready. Okay. So it is printing that. Now we'll do something like this. So we'll get that value. If it is present, we'll do some operations, like we'll make it uppercase. If it is not present, will throw a message, okay, something like that. So dot I will call map, okay, city dot I will call map, okay, and this map is expecting a functional interface. So you refer my other session, I explained what is functional interface, what is this consumer predicate and supplier interface. So one method reference also, you refer my previous video, you can understand. So just here I am checking if that value is there, then do uppercase, okay, or else you print one error message like new, suppose city is not present, okay. Let me comment this. So what I'm saying, if it is there, you uppercase it. If it is not there, then print this message. Now we are passing this HOID, so it will be uppercase, uppercase. If it is not there, we are passing null. So if it is not there, so city is not present. It will show the message city is not present. We are using that or else get, like or else. So we are getting we are using this, okay. So we saw like some of the operations like this. We can do many more stream operations. This optional is useful. Actually the better way is what we will do in this user project class, this get city, right, the here itself will define as optional, okay. It is the better approach, okay. And this and this will return this optional object. We'll call this nullable. Of nullable will pass the city, okay. So each attribute will define like this, so it will take care of null pointer exception. So here what we will do, so we'll print it, okay. It will pass this directly user1 dot get city. So if it is null, right, it is empty, it is printing, okay. It will try to get it because we are passing empty and we are trying to get it. It will throw that error, no such exception, that exception, no such element exception, no value present, okay. And if we are passing this some values, we are passing some values, so it is printing, okay. So this is the better approach in this project class. We can directly use this, okay. You see, whenever we are having thousands of attributes, instead of each time we are checking here and better approach is each attribute we define as optional. So lot of benefits like this we'll get. So in one session I cannot explain all the benefits, but this is basic about optional. I will try to I will try to create another session about in detail. Okay, so that's it about this session. If any doubt, please comment me. I will respond. Thank you so much for watching this video.